Okay, so you come across this man and you think you've seen his face before. You recognize his mustache and you think you know he's a painter. So you try to remember his name. Was it Salvador?
Salvador Dali is right.
Today we're talking about one of Salvador Dali's masterpieces, the Burning Giraffe. Now, let's assume we want to know more about this painting, but we don't know how. Let's break it down into 5 easy bits. This usually helps me decipher a work of art pretty easily. We start off by simply observing. As we take a step closer, we see that most of the artwork is being filled up by 2 women in a barren land. They have no faces or ears, and they seem to be supported or propped up by what seems like crutches. The woman in the front has what looks like drawers coming out of her and potentially revealing her. While the woman at the back has no drawers, she has a lot more crutches that hold her up. We can also see her holding up a piece of meat. Now, you squint and you look at the distance to see a burning giraffe. The person next to him remains unmoved. And although the sky is bright and blue, something is awfully eerie about this image. The women have been stripped down to their bones and they look directionless as the giraffe burns away in the distance. Now, what do you think it means? If you were to ask Dali yourself, he'd probably say,
and no message and no explanation.
But he does give us a little hint. Dali refers to his giraffes as the masculine cosmic apocalyptic monster when they appeared in his other works. This could be Dali's way of voicing concern over the dangers of war. The women seem lost and weak, and although the drawers look empty, you still feel like they're revealing something. You're drawn to take a peek inside. That just adds to the argument that Dali is expressing concern over something. Now, we may feel lost here, but going into Dali's technique gives us a lot more context. And in order to do so, we have to try and understand Surrealism. André Breton was a French writer and a poet who was also a leader of the Surrealism movement. His writings included the Surrealist Manifesto, in which he defined Surrealism as psychic automatism in its purest state. You see, these artists were inspired by Sigmund Freud, who claimed that humans were divided by their conscious and unconscious thought. He claimed that social manners held back our unconscious mind, and that our unconscious mind was actually where our most intimate desires and secrets lay. The Surrealist artists sought to free the unconscious mind, almost as an act of rebellion against social norms. This resulted in an avant-garde movement where artists looked to tap into their subconscious mind, and that meant the artists drew whatever came to their mind, no matter how dreamlike. And even here, although the painting is very personal to Dali, he's opening it up to interpretation. He tries to display the inner workings of his subconscious mind, and he hopes for it to be analyzed by us. So, surrealists like Dali were almost trying to create a new reality. But what were they trying to get away from? I think that's where the historical context comes into play. In the 1930s, Spain saw the Spanish Civil War, when the military led by General Franco tried to revolt against the Republic government of Spain. They attempted a coup that failed and resulted in a bloody civil war, and the number of people that died can only be estimated. Some recent estimates have been about 500,000. The Civil War had a great impact of the artwork of that time, because for years, Europeans had lived in a mild manner. They were held back by their etiquettes and rational behavior. And then had come the bloodshed. They questioned society and everything about it. Most of Spain's prominent surrealists utilized their art either to take a stance or simply discuss what was happening around them. And that's where Dali's personal context comes into the picture. In 1937, Dali saw Hitler's reflections on his country when he was in Vienna. In the same year, he painted the Burning Giraffe right before his exile to the United States. The Burning Giraffe is a culmination of Dali's thoughts. The painting is produced by the struggles of the Spanish Civil War, mixed with the dream interpretations and psychoanalysis of Dr. Sigmund Freud. The giraffe may not be the central focus of the image, But why else would Dali name the whole painting after it if he didn't want us to notice it in the first place? Dali's country is burning, and although he does not want to take sides, he wants to warn the world about the possibilities of war through the burning giraffe. The woman in the back has many more crutches as the one in the front. The woman in the front needs fewer. Maybe that's because she's opened up the gateways to her inner self, which in this case are shown by the drawers. So, maybe at the end of this grim image, there's still hope. Maybe the only way of resolving war is by resolving your inner thoughts first. I hope you like the decoding of this artwork. If you have any suggestions for what I should do next, drop them below. Cheers!